I got so much new makeup to test out with you. I have the new Lunar Beauty Day and Night collection, except for the lashes. I have the new Superstay foundation by Maybelline. I have some liquid eyeshadows by Made by Mitchell. I have a bunch of things and we're gonna test it out. Let's get into it. Okay, I'm just gonna zoom you in, not too much, because sometimes I disappear out of frame, and I'm gonna see if I can pin back my hair without ruining it completely. The only thing that I've done is I've cleaned my eyelids with some micellar water. I actually bought a new eyeshadow primer. This is a new, but I am on the hunt for a new eyeshadow primer that works on my oily eyelids. The one and only eyeshadow primer that works for me, or worked for me, was the Atos eyeshadow primer. This thing has gotten me through some very bad oily eyelid times. But it seems that they've updated their formula. I'm not entirely sure. I have thought this before, and usually when they repackage, which they do a lot, I always am a little skeptical, but usually it turns out to be alright. Usually it's just that it's a newer product, like it's newer in the store, like they just produced it, it's in the store, it is just not as dried out. So I thought, okay, let's give this a true chance. And I've even let this dry out a little bit to see if that would like help anything. But I feel like this is a new formula. Like this hasn't worked on my eyelids at all. It seems so creamy, so like non-drying. And this one, the old one, I think, is just like cement on the lids, which is exactly what I need. I need it to be so dry. So now I basically have no eyeshadow primer. I used to use the She Glam, but I'm not buying from She Glam anymore. Like that was the only other one that works for my oily eyelids. So we are on an adventure right now. And one thing that did work for me was the Sigma Shiny Eyeshadow Primer. That did work for me, but it's shiny. Like it's making everything shiny. So I also ordered the Matte Eyeshadow Primer, the one in Ignite. And that one doesn't last on me. Like my eyeshadow's creasing pretty quickly. So why is the shiny one working and the other one not? Like I don't understand what's going on. I thought this is gonna be the solution. It was not. Okay, so the Milani eyeshadow primer, it's called a longwear shadow base. You have to apply to clean dry lids, blend well, and allow to set for 30 seconds. I believe I remembered people actually complaining about this one being too dry, and I thought, that sounds interesting. If it's too dry for the people, it might be just right for me. Looks very yellowy and it does feel pretty creamy, which makes me a little scared. Like, why do all eyeshadow bases feel so creamy? And then the Sigma Ignite, it doesn't even feel that creamy, but still it creases. And I've tried it different ways. I've tried to apply less, I've tried to apply more, and like things crease. Like at the end of the night, my eyeshadow is all in my crease. Like it's not even on my lid anymore. It's just like one line of eyeshadow in my crease. It's absolutely terrible. So we're gonna let that set for 30 seconds. And in the meantime, we can talk about the eyeshadow palette that we're using. But there's also other eye products that I also want to use. But we're just going to start out with the eyeshadow palette. So I bought the Night and Day, or Day and Night palette by Lunar Beauty. I also have the lip oils that we'll talk about a little later. But these are magnetized, two smaller palettes, two 9-pan palettes. This one, the Day one, is a little bit more like soft, a little bit more daytime appropriate, really shiny, shimmery shimmers. That's really going to catch the light in the sunlight. This is not a palette with a lot of deep tones. It's really soft. It's really like pretty nude. And then we have the Night palette. And this one is a little bit more sultry, smoky, darker tones, darker shimmers. I feel like these shimmers are a little bit less sparkly shimmery. They are a little bit more like pigmented. The other ones could be used as toppers on top of these. And yeah, this is just really like the deepening up sultry palette. I haven't really heard anybody talk about these. I haven't really like seen anyone review these. I do feel like a lot of people felt like this was a little bit of a like boring release almost. Like, where is the spin? Is it too similar to the neutral palettes he has already come out with? I feel like this makes sense for the kind of launch that he did on TikTok. Like this was gonna have to appeal to a lot of people on TikTok. So I do understand that. And I do have to say, swatching these, I feel like this might be like pretty underrated. Like the swatches of this looked really good. I am just gonna start out, I think, with the shade Magnitude over here. We're gonna make it a little bit on the like the cooler tone side, and I am not gonna judge the products I use today too harshly because we're using a lot of different things. Like also for the skin, I'm using a newer primer, I'm using a new foundation, concealer. But today's just about like first impressions, playing around with some new makeup. This matte is working really well. That is really cute. It's a little powdery in the pan, but that's okay. And it's also not gonna be like a true wear test for that eyeshadow base because like it's not a full day, it's already night, it's already pretty late, but a lot of the time eyeshadow will already crease on me in like an hour or two if it's really like the wrong base. So it's kind of like a first test if this is gonna be like something to really try, you know? Okay, let's go into the night palette and I'm gonna go into the shade Shady Bye to see if that can deepen up this look. Yeah, a bit. It is deepening it up a little bit and it's a little bit more like rich in tone. Just using the same brush. That's nice. Okay, I'm liking this so far. Let's do a little bit of something under the eye as well. I'm just gonna take that shade Shady Bye under my eyes as well. Just a bit of that. And then I think I wanna take one of the shimmers from the Day palette. And I think I'm gonna go into the shade called Bratty. And that one swatched really nicely. It has kind of like a multicolored sparkle that just looks really beautiful. Like this one has a lot of dimension to it. It's really stunning. Like it's a bit of a like almost deeper base, a little bit of a lilac-y mauvey base, and then it has a lot of sparkle that is a bit lighter, so you have a lot of dimension in this shade. That is really beautiful. Not gonna make this look too complicated because we have different products that I want to add to this, that I want to do something with. Just gonna blend the outer part a little bit with that brush from the mattes. And I'm gonna take a clean brush and blend the edges. It's already looking pretty blended, but can never be too sure. Under the eye as well. Okay, this is a good base. Okay, next up I bought this set of 6 mini liquid eyeshadows from Made by Mitchell. This was from his Space Cowboy collection. And this set contains different formulas of liquid eyeshadows and in mini format. And it was a pretty good price. I even since then have seen it on sale. Then it's like a truly amazing price. And these just seemed very interesting to me. Interesting to try this formula and to just have a few different shades. Like I don't go through liquid eyeshadows, but having them like this, it's just a fun way to have some options. And I think I'm just gonna take the shade Spirit of the West. So this was kind of like a rose goldy shade. Like these are truly tiny, very cute. I'm gonna take the rose gold shade and I'm gonna apply a little bit of that underneath here and then blend that out with a brush. Like this is shiny, but still neutral. So it's gonna go with the look. That is really cute. I do love adding a little bit of a liquid eyeshadow like right there. It kind of like opens up the eye, makes you look fresh and awake. Just blending that with a small brush. I think that is really cute. Like this is just one of, I think, 3 different formulas in this set. Like we also have really sparkly shades, but this is also really nice. It's not really an inner corner highlight, so I think I'm gonna grab that from one of the palettes, and that's for sure gonna be the Day palette. And I think I'm just gonna go into the shade called Lumos, which I think means light, and it just looks so nice and sparkly. This brush might have a little bit of blue shimmer on it, but we're just gonna ignore that. I really have to wash my brushes, but I forgot yesterday and the day before that and the day before that and then the whole week before that. So yeah, that's how it's going over here. That is a really beautiful shimmer. Like that is really stunning. I love the look of that shimmer. That is really like this warm white multicolored sparkle shimmer. This is really making this eye look luxe, like luxury vibes. So nice. That is actually so nice. I hope it comes across on camera how nice it is. These shimmers, like I always love the Lunar Beauty shimmers, but these shimmers are really some of his best neutral shimmers. I feel like these neutral shimmers are better than the neutral shimmers in the Nude Prism palette, which is basically one of my all-time favorite palettes of all time. It's so good that I had to say all time 2 times. Okay, quickly gonna line my waterline with Nabla Cupid's Arrow in Cappuccino before I forget. Like sometimes I forget and then I regret. And then I actually bought 2 more liners from the new Lethal Cosmetics collection. These are the Multichrome liners, the Aura liners, and I had 2 of the lighter shades, but these darker shades also looked really amazing. And these are very creamy and just glidey, and I feel like I was kind of missing that in my life. I've tried some Multichrome liners, but did I think they were absolutely amazing and did I keep using them? Not really. So I was really interested to try these. So I have here the liner in Hypnotic, which is a kind of like purple to bronze to green, which looks really nice. And this is just gonna actually add dimension to your like eye look. The other ones were more like inner corner, like highlight toppers, things like that. And this one actually swatched so much better and so much better than I thought. Like I thought, you know what, I'll give it a go. But this one looks so good. So this is the one in Synapse, and this is so shifty from a green, like a warmer green to cool tone green to blue. This is like, this swatches so good, really beautiful. I definitely want to do a look with that, but I'm kind of feeling the purple vibes, like the purple cardigan, neutral and purple. I think it's gonna like work well. So I'm gonna use this as my liner, and we're just gonna see how these work as an actual liner. I think it's gonna be really nice. Oh yeah, that's really nice. With these, it also kind of depends like how much space you give them to like flip, but that is a really beautiful purple color. You do see that dimension. If you want to see the lighter 2 shades from this collection, well, that's one more shade that I didn't get, but I got the light shades. Those are in my review of the new Lethal Cosmetics palette. I think this is really cool. I don't feel like I really need to like blend this out. I feel like it's already like blending into the eyeshadow really nicely. That gives such a nice pop. I'm really liking that. Like this is becoming such a cute look with different like tones of like neutral and purple. To finish up the purple vibe, I got here one of the Sky High Lash Sensational mascaras in a new shade, and this is shade Midnight Plum, and this is a really dark purple. I already did a short with it, but I thought it would go well with this look. It's new in my collection. I've only used it once, and I just want to give it another go, because sometimes also mascaras look a little different with different looks, or they start looking a little better after a little while. So we're just gonna apply this one. I did get a comment saying this definitely needs the white primer. I think that would definitely help. I don't have a white primer in my possession right now. I think I might have to go out and buy one and see. I do feel like the fact that I'm now combining this with a purple liner is really bringing out the purple in this look. Like now I'm really seeing that this is a purple shade, and when I tried this for the first time, it was kind of like, it's black. It just looks black. So I think that's really nice. That's a nice combination. Like that purple liner definitely is just bringing that out. And yeah, this one is definitely more cool tone than the burgundy one. The burgundy one is pretty like neutral, maybe even a little bit warm. And if you're someone who does a lot of very cool tone looks, then this one is really nice. Okay, so this is gonna be the eye look. I think it came out really nicely, very ethereal. I think it's time to move on to the skin, or part of the skin. Then I will do the brows. I don't have anything new for the brows. So with this one, I also used this once or twice already, but I haven't really made up my mind about it yet. This year, I've really been on a journey when it comes to my skin products. Primers, I've been trying different primers, skin tints, foundation, setting sprays to see what I actually like the best. Before this, I wasn't really into skin. I didn't really use skin tints, maybe a little bit of concealer, and that was about it. I also didn't really have any skin issues where things that I used weren't lasting or were creasing, but this year it was a wild ride. And this type of primer was something that I hadn't really tried yet. So this is the Revolution Super Base Vitamin Base Primer, probably a dupe of the Vitamin E like primer from Bobbi Brown. I haven't tried it one, so I cannot really like say if it is or not, but this is really like a thicker moisturizing primer. And I've been trying some lighter primers, also some sticky primers. So I thought, okay, maybe that's for me because I do have really dry skin. And this is, as you can see, very thick. And we're just gonna use this today. We're just gonna see, because my main issue is just that my skin is dry. And I do have a bit of shimmer on my hand, so I might be rubbing that into my face as well. But we're just living with that. Maybe it would have been nice to already do this because this is gonna need some time to sink in, but we're gonna be doing the brows. I'm gonna be doing the brows off camera to let this sink in. It does feel very nice. It doesn't irritate my skin and it does feel very hydrating and kind of thick. I would not use this if I had like issues with oily skin or like a combo skin or something like that. I definitely don't have that. I would really be surprised if I ever had any oiliness on my skin. I do feel like it leaves a pretty nice glow. It looks healthy, it looks hydrated. Okay, be right back. Okay, the brows are on. I think this has sunken in. It's feeling like soft, but not like there's still a layer on my skin. And I'm gonna be trying out today with you the Maybelline Superstay Lumi Matte Foundation. And I got shade 090, which I think was the lightest shade that I could get online where I bought this, which was at Zalando Netherlands. And this is supposed to be a luminous matte finish that is long lasting. Shake well before use. When I swatched this, it seems very liquidy, very thin, kind of serum-like, and not super pigmented, which sounds very promising. It sounds like something I will like. It has a pump. The shade is looking like it could work. So just like giving it a go. I am gonna pump a little bit on my hand and just see how far I can get with one pump. It always looks a little crazy on my hand because my hand is much more tan than my face. I'm just gonna grab the Singe F01 and work this into the brush a little bit. Like it's smelling a little bit like paint. And let's see. Oh, is this a little too light maybe? It seems a bit more like full coverage than I was expecting. I'm gonna see if I can kind of get this to spread over my face and not be like so full coverage. I did work it into the brush, but it's a lot right now. A bit more like pigmented and full coverage than I was thinking, and maybe, yeah, a little light. It's a little light. We're gonna bronze it up and I'm gonna be lighter in a bit, like in a month or so. I'm gonna be more lighter. I'm gonna be more light. Okay, usually I don't apply my skin tint or foundation when my brows are already on, but today's the day we're doing that. So I hope I don't ruin them. Yeah, I think, like, did I take too much? It's looking a little stripy. Or is it just a shade that is really maybe not working for me? I am looking a bit like a ghost. I didn't think it was gonna be this pigmented, and I still find it a little hard sometimes to like find my shade to know what I actually am, because I am fair, but I'm like not that fair. So I'm somewhere in between, like fair and light. Sometimes I don't know. So we're gonna see how I can kind of take away a bit of this coverage with a sponge. I didn't even wet the sponge, but I just want the upper layer to look less stripy. This is also what I've been doing with the foundation from Kiko Milano, the skin tint from Kiko Milano that I didn't like. Now it's looking pretty good. I think it could be that I got the wrong shade for now and that I have to learn to work with it a little bit. But I feel like now, and also the primer could be an issue. I feel like now it's looking relatively good. It's looking relatively skin-like. It's not feeling like drying or tuggy or anything like that. But yeah, definitely a first impression that I like can do a lot with. Like there's not a lot to say here. I guess it looks like it's matching, but it just feels so much like a mask because I'm not used to having like medium to full pigment things on my face, like skin tints, foundations. I do feel like it covered my skin and made it look very smooth, like pretty well. By the way, this is the Lunar Beauty sponge. I got it with my order. Okay, I need a mirror. I need a close-up. Yeah, I think now it's looking good. It's feeling pretty good. Like, it's not clinging onto anything weird. It's not looking dry. Like, it's looking skin-like, but it's pretty clear that I am wearing a foundation because it's so like light and bright. Maybe I would get a darker shade because I do like the way this is sitting on my skin next to that. And also the way it's feeling. But there's also a chance that I like this foundation better with a sponge in general. It's just, I thought it was going to be a little bit lighter coverage because it was so serumy and I could really see like my skin through it when I applied the swatch. Buildable airy coverage, breathable feel, resists sweat and transfer. We're just gonna see. Like, it's looking good now. Like it's sunken into the skin. It's looking pretty good. We're just gonna see how it goes. I feel like there's potential to this. But this is not gonna be my summer shade. I can tell you that. Alright, this is not a new product. But I thought a lot of people love this. I saw it on the Zalando website as well. Let's give it a go. I've been trying some concealers. I don't feel like I have found my perfect, most favorite concealer. So this is the Maybelline Superstay Active Wear Concealer in the shade 05. I don't know what 05 means, but I hope I got a shade that's kind of okay. It looks a little bit yellowy. Like, opening it up, I'm a bit scared. Like, that's looking very yellow. I am not that yellow. I have a neutral undertone, but we're just gonna try it and see. It's also pretty light. It's just hard. It's just difficult sometimes. But I don't feel like I need this concealer really on the rest of my face because there's already a lot of coverage from that skin tint. Why am I calling it a skin tint? Foundation. It's called a foundation. It is a foundation. I just swatched it and thought, oh, that's a nice skin tint. It's not. It's definitely brightening. I don't know if I'm the person who likes brightening products under my eyes. I just don't know if I'm that. I need to reapply my inner corner highlight a little bit. I ruined it. Just need a little extra. I just feel like brightening also looks a little bit more artificial, and I'm just at the point where I don't want my skin to look too artificial. That's just my style right now. I feel like this is going a long way. Little is going really far. Let me know if you think that this like brighter concealer is looking somewhat good on me. Is it just that I have to get used to it, or what is going on? That's really bright. So maybe I'm not as fair as I thought. I feel like I want to go over it with the sponge as well. Just blending that in. I think I'm really starting to see the point of sponges. Okay, what do we think of the skin? I just feel like maybe it's a pretty good shade, but it's looking really flat. So we need to bring back some dimension to the face. This is another not new product, new to me, not new to the market, but I just got curious. It was on a sale. I decided, let's do it. I've seen Angelica Nyqvist mentioning this as a product that is still her favorite. And that does mean a lot when people still talk about it long after it has launched. So this is the McGrath Labs Powder Bronzer, and I got shade Nude Honey. So it's the Skin Fetish Devine Bronzer, and this shade is actually looking really good. I'm really into a more subtle bronze right now, and I was a little scared that this was maybe going to be a little bit too like deep or a little bit too contrasty with my skin, but I think it's gonna work. I think this is gonna be good, and I just want to know what the hype is about. I just want to know if it's really that good. I think the reason also why I just thought, okay, let's do it, let's try it, is that I just don't feel like I've tried that many like amazing bronzers this year. I just haven't felt inspired by the bronzers that I've tried. So I'm kind of like trying to find the inspiration again. Maybe it wasn't really necessary. I mean, if you still like your older products, you don't always need something new. But I just got curious. It's blending really nicely. It's a really nice color. It's a very skin-like finish. Like, it's pretty cool toned. Like the name Honey sometimes scares me a little bit. I'm scared that it's gonna be very orangey, but this doesn't seem very orangey. It's a bit powdery. It's a powdery powder bronzer. Like, there's a lot of kick up in the pan, but it's looking good. Like, really like blurring and smooth. Of course, it also depends a lot what kind of like foundation or skin tint you have underneath when you try products like this, like blushes, bronzers. I feel like this is coming out pretty good, but I almost have a feeling like this foundation is mattifying the bronzer a little bit. Let me have another look. I do like the way this bronzer is looking. It's kind of like a satin bronzer. I do like that. I think that's my favorite kind of bronzer. I'm feeling like I kind of want to dust this lightly over my face. Feeling a little pale over here. Okay, I feel like the skin is looking pretty good right now. Like, it's going into the right direction. I don't really have a new blush. I know, it's shocking, but I have a blush that I want to use again. So I have here the Essence Lava de Chocolate Blush Mousse in Chocoholic's Dream. And I just want to grab a little bit of this and add it to the look. I haven't bought a lot of new blushes lately. Like, it actually hasn't been too bad with all the blushes that I've tried. And I just want to see how this blush looks on top of a like powder bronzer like this. I think this is such a nice natural flush. And I'm just using it with a sponge again. Like, this is a type of blush that's gonna fit a lot of different looks because it just looks like natural, like a flush. Do I even have a highlighter that I want to try? I don't think so. This is such a nice blush. I really like it. I guess I'm just gonna go with one of the Nimia highlighters. This is Beam Bam Boom, the lightest one. And I'm just gonna take a tiny bit because I don't want it to like overpower the look. I just wanna have a subtle glow. That's really pretty. Nothing wrong with this subtle glow. I think it's time for a lip product. I have here a lip liner by Made by Mitchell. This is the Here on Earth lip liner, and this was from his Camera Roll collection. And I already told you that I thought this looked really interesting. I do have to say it looks a bit more brown, a little less purple, a little less light in real life. Like, the product shots, I don't feel like are perfectly accurate, but it's looking interesting. It's looking like something I want to try, but I don't know if this is gonna be the day. I also have the Pout liner by Revolution. So this is one of their plumping liners. This is a retractable liner. The other one is a pencil liner. And this is more of a pinky mauve shade. The question is, do I want to go a little bit more like soft and safe, or do I want to go a little bit more like out there and a little crazy? Or should we combine them? Should I start with the pink? I've seen a lot of people combining lip liners online, so you know what? Let's try it. I'm just gonna start out with this pink one. It's pretty similar to my lip color. This is, by the way, shade Kiss Baby Pink. It's very creamy. I really like the shade of that. Is that spicy? It feels kind of spicy. It feels kind of weird when your outer lip line is spicy. I'm not very sensitive to spice in lip products, I think. Yeah, it's a little spicy. Some people are gonna find painful. Yeah, for me that's unnecessary. Like, I don't know why it's a thing, but if it doesn't bother me and it's a good lip liner, fine as well. I think I'm just gonna add a little bit of the Made by Mitchell liner. I don't know, like, this is a bit more precise. I don't know how that's gonna go. Just gonna try and blend it a little. It's pretty pigmented as well, this one. I am of the opinion that lip liners can also be a little bit too precise. Like, sometimes it's a little bit too harsh of a line, but this lip liner by Made by Mitchell is pretty easy to blend. So then I'm like, okay, it's fine. But yeah, the Revolution lip liner, kind of painful, but not really for me. I don't mind, but it's definitely a little painful. Okay, I have the two new lip oils by Lunar. This is a formula that I really like. We have the shades Bite Me which is the lighter pink, baby pink. And then we have the shade Choose Me, which is kind of like a purpley mauve. I think I'm gonna go with the purpley mauve today. These smell really nice. I have discovered that I love the smell of grapes when it's like added to a lip product. I think it's really like such a nice scent. Okay, let's try the mauve one. Ooh, such a good color for this look. Feels a little weird when your lip lines are burning and then you add a cooling soft lip oil on top. I love that color. I am so happy that he came out with more lip oils because this one was so nice and the first three kind of had no color to them. I used one of them up actually. It doesn't have a lot. So yeah, I'm really happy with this. So this is gonna be the finished look. I really like how this look came out. I think this looks really cute. It's the type of thing that I really love. I do think that most of these products I really enjoyed. Most of these products worked really well for me and I think are gonna be things I'm gonna be reaching for more often, especially with kind of like the base products, the foundation and the concealer. I really have to test those out more and see how I feel. I feel like the foundation is looking and feeling really good right now. Like it's definitely not gonna transfer. It doesn't feel like that. It's really like adhered to the skin, but it's feeling very comfortable and it's looking very natural. Like it's not looking weird anywhere, which I do really enjoy. It's just, is it the right shade? How do I like to apply it? I feel like probably applying with a sponge is going to be my favorite method, but I'm just going to try different ways. I think I'm going to play around with it a little bit more, especially with the concealer as well. So far it's looking pretty good, but it's just a little light for me. I don't know if I like that very bright under eye. But yeah, I feel like overall the products are really promising. I had a lot of fun doing this look. And yeah, that's gonna be it. Thank you for watching and I will see you in my next one. Bye bye.